All right, welcome to another episode of Fishing is My Summer Job. Before I begin today, I'm here catfishing. I've got one before I even had stuff set up. Before I begin today, I do want to remind you that my channel is moving. I'll have you the same great content, but it is moving to a new channel due to me retiring. So instead of being at Dwayne, whatever the number is, it'll be here. It is going to be at Fishing is My Summer Job will be the new channel. All the old playlists will be stored there, and there'll be a lot of more great content. So stay tuned. We'll have a whole bunch more of these to go, hopefully some bigger ones, and we'll see you later.
All right, so Memorial Day, made a little trip over to Bay City. We were visiting my mother-in-law. Saturday night, I fished. Fish did not want to cooperate. There was a ton of boat traffic. There was a giant party at the one marina, just boats all over the place, tons of waves. It was really churned up. And I did not catch a thing. I think that's one of the few times ever that I've been skunked on the Saginaw River. But I decided I was going to go back out Sunday morning. And it was kind of a mixed bag farm animal day for anybody from the Bay City, Saginaw Bay area, maybe even Lake Erie. You know, farm animals. We got sheephead, one little one coming in here. I think that might be the smallest sheephead I've ever caught. And because they usually are bigger, and man, do they fight. People give them a bad rap. I don't know how they are to eat. I just throw them back, but man, do they fight. But like I say, sheephead and catfish were on the docket today, and got a wide variety. It was kind of an interesting bite. Most of them came on shrimp. This fish that I'm going to reel in right here came in on a chunk of cut bluegill. I brought some over from my little fly fishing excursion the other day. I didn't film that. It's kind of hard to film fly fishing unless I got my boat with me, because it's like otherwise you see my hands as I'm reeling in, and that's about it. So here, bringing in another, it's probably the biggest cat of the day. It was a lot of fun and a great time. Like I say, if you're ever in that Bay City, Saginaw area, you can pretty much go to any park, find a spot, and you can throw out, I think, shrimp, cherry hot dogs, cut bait minnows, worms. It does not really matter. Those fish will cooperate. It's a kind of a relaxing way to catch some. And if you know where this spot's at, I'm not going to tell you the exact location, but it's pretty easy to find, and know that it is, if they're not working on the stone, they don't care if you're out there. Now, if they're in there running heavy equipment, they probably will tell you that you can't be there. So I actually lost one there. I put one of those on there. It was kind of weird. I was having a lot of light bites. I think those were the sheephead. Sheephead bite different, and then they tend to pick it up and run towards you sometimes. It seems like the cats always bite and go away. But if you watch this bite here, it's just starting. There's like a pylon, obviously I'm using it as I hold my rod holders, but you got to go down in that riprap. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but it does work. So yeah, this fish ended up fighting pretty well. I think this one on land. Yeah. Yeah, the bite was kind of funny. Usually they hit it a couple times and just yank it down. Everything was kind of a light bite. Pick it up, nibble on it, move a little bit, and then maybe get hooked. I'm using circle hooks. Usually that just does the job. They bite, run, and bam, it's nailed right in the corner of their jaw. Not so much on Sunday. It was one of those days where everything was real finicky, and I think it's because we had a bunch of fronts coming in and around. And here, usually you never do this with circle hooks. You don't pull that rod out of there. But what I was watching is the slack on the water was moving upstream. So I knew the fish had the bait in its mouth, because you can I don't know if you can tell in the video here or not, but usually those fish are down, the direction the rod's pointing. But that fish was actually kind of moving upstream, and like I say, it ended up getting hooked. But there it goes, man. I tell you what, too, the cottonwoods were awful, man. My allergies are still killing me. It was one of the worst I've seen in a while, allergy-wise. Yeah, and this is just another one of those cookie cutter cats that are coming out of there. And if it wasn't the Saginaw River, I'd say those are probably pretty good eaters. They're pretty young, pretty small. You probably could eat them out of there too. But man, I grew up on that thing, and I remember just how much I mean, that river never froze when I was a kid. And they did run a freighter in and out there, but it was always open water because they have had General Motors, Dow Chemical, all that industry on there. It was kind of crazy. Here's another hit going. This one you can see is hitting a little harder. I'm getting my old knees down that riprap and going. Yeah, I do want to thank again everybody who's tuning in, watching. If you were following my old channel, which is under Dwayne Petrosky, which was fishing is my summer job, and I don't know what happened there. I must have lost another one. I put a couple of those on just to that's part of fishing too. Here's one that's just playing with it a little bit. We're getting near the end, but like I say, if you did subscribe to the old channel and you found me again, thank you. Please resubscribe. I know I don't have a giant following. Tell your friends about it. I'm retiring. I'm going to try to have one video a week. I'm going to drop every Tuesday at 6 o'clock, and that's kind of my new thing. It'll be Tuesday drops, and then I may have an extra bonus video or some shorts every week. And I'm also got a concept for a new idea. I'm going to run a few times each summer. I'm going to do little episodes called "Fish Catching Up" with Mr. P, and I'm going to have kids. Well, they're adults that I had in class over my career of teaching, and I'm going to have them on and. We're going to interview them a little bit, talk about what they're doing, how their life has been, what they're up to, and kind of go from there. I've actually got my first two uh, former students lined up, for being on the show, and I don't want to tell much more than that. It's kind of a concept I had. It's something I want to do just to kind of catch up with some of my old students. And by the way, if you're a subscriber and you had me as a teacher and you want to be on a show, I'm more or less shooting for people that are older, not still in like seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th grade. But once you're out of school and you have a job and you're working through life, I'd love to have you on and catch up because I think that'd be kind of fun. Here's the biggest sheephead of the day. Not a big sheephead by any means, but that was the biggest one of those for the day. And I tell you what, those things fight hard. They are people trash on them all the time on the bay, but they're a lot of fun. Hey, thanks again for tuning in. Make sure you hit subscribe and leave a comment.